What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Game of the Week show. I am your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week, I thought I'd mix it up this week, Dan Gilbert. I didn't realise that for this intro, we didn't need to do this intro. We could just take the cut from an old video and just loop it every week, because it's the same every single week.
It is.
But thank you for joining us. Anyone that's joining us for the first time, the Game of the Week show is a video game show where three friends sit around this table every Monday to discuss the latest news topics in the video game industry. We'll then also go through the video game releases for that week before picking our favourite game of the week. So guys, it's been not the busiest week for news, but it was a very, very interesting topic at the top of the week. So we're a bit late to the party on this conversation, but I still feel it's relevant that we have it. There was a leak last Monday about the length of The Order 1886, the PlayStation 4 exclusive that came out last Friday. Basically, the internet got very angry because apparently it was only going to be 5 hours long. And 5 hours for a AAA game, for a $60 game, £50 game, how can it be so short? That's ridiculous. I've played it and I can tell you that is not true. It is longer than that. I took about 8.5 hours to play it. So if they played it for 5 hours, they must have just run from point to point. But the question to bring to you today was like, when the internet got angry, do you think they had a point? Do you think if a game was 5 hours, do you think that's too short? What do you think is do you think a game has to be a certain length, or is it all about quality over quantity?
Tough question.
I think you've got to have the right balance, personally. As in, like, you can't obviously make a game last for like 100 hours and then it to be absolute shit.
Well, yeah, because no one would play it 100 hours.
But at the same time, you can't put in a whole load of great visuals and, like, maybe the characters are amazing right off the bat, but then it lasts 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you've got to have a balance, otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like, a 2 hour experience is fine when you're maybe spending like £5-10 on like a PSN Xbox Live game.
Yeah,
but when it's AAA, I mean, I don't think there has to be a certain length. I don't think there's like a set rule or minimum. No. But I think you have to feel like you've had your money's worth in the game. They basically responded to this by basically saying that they didn't want to have any filler in the game. They wanted it to be very much on point to it was. So the length is what they feel is they could have made it longer if they wanted to, but they wanted it to be every moment to be great.
So it's more of a pacing issue really than anything. Because like, when you start putting filler into games, it slows everything down. So it sounds like they wanted to keep the pace running at a set tempo, and they weren't going to achieve that.
Yeah, well, anyone that is interested, I as I said, I've completed the game, and I'll be doing a full review of this, which will be going up on the channel probably the day after this video. So fingers crossed Tuesday, but our upload speeds are pretty woeful, so I can never make any guarantees.
Just going back a step as well, I think for me, I like a game that's always around the sort of 30-hour mark, but that's just personal preference.
Okay, so...
But is that 30 hours, like, again, including like collectibles?
I was going to say,
like
because like, it doesn't take you 30 hours to complete Uncharted.
No, it doesn't. But
that's your favourite game of all time, so I'm going to throw you under the bus here. Like,
no. I just think that like a 30-hour for an all-inclusive sort of game with like some side missions, I think is a good time. I think so. That's just the story.
Well, basically the argument is obviously, I mean, everyone knows a bit more information about The Order now, but the argument was obviously something like the Uncharted is maybe 10 hours, 12 hours long, but you also have multiplayer as well, so there is that longevity of the game, whereas this is a single player only, campaign only game. There are collectibles in the game, but you don't really know what there are or how many there are, so there's no like kind of, well, there's a trophy for getting it, but you don't know how many there are to collect.
So there's no like tracker.
There's no tracker, so that kind of maybe takes away a bit of the fun. So that's basically the argument on it. I mean, I don't want to go specifically on The Order as such, but I just want to talk general. I'm happy personally with, I think there has got to be a minimum. I think if I can complete a game in one sitting and I've paid full price for it, it's too short. Now, obviously I can complete a lot of games in one sitting. Generally, I don't want to play games for maybe more than like 5 hours in one go, because you get tired and you need to have a break. So I think 6 to 7 hours would be the absolute minimum that I would be happy with personally.
Yeah, but
that's just. I don't know. Do you think the internet overreacted, or do you think they had just kind of closing up? Do you think they had a justifiable point on it?
I think part of sort of like the anger was really the fact they had to wait for it, because it got delayed. It's like, how did you manage to get in a situation where you had to delay a game that's apparently short? I think is probably where that came from more than anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it's like, you can understand if it's like you're saying, like 20, 30 hours of like working for like gameplay, and there's suddenly like, oh, hang on, there's a lot of broken stuff in here. But it's like, how did you manage to screw up a short game? I think is what is coming. This is coming from.
I think that's a fair comment, but I think we all know that the internet gets angry.
It's easy to point the finger, isn't it?
Someone sneezes and the internet gets angry. Let's face it.
I know. Oh well. We'll move on then. Like I said, check out our review for the Order 86 to see if we do think that the time of the game is kind of worth the money, etc. So moving on now to the second item, and RockBand, we spoke about it about a month ago. Harmonix did a survey asking if we would pre-order it, etc, etc. But now, according to a report from Bloomberg News, so pretty reliable source I would like to think, they've said that the new project is in the works. Harmonix wouldn't confirm or deny it, which I don't know, I suppose generally when that sort of thing happens, my interpretation is always, well, it does exist, they're just not ready to announce it.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't exist, why not just deny it and hit the rumours on the head? But they have said that they would like to return with the franchise when the time is right. So the question is, do you think the time is right?
Potentially, yeah. It's been quite a while since we've had the last RockBand. I think with the
2010, I've got it's the last.
Yeah, 2010.
With the current gen that we're in now, I think it's why not? It's not my kind of game personally, but I know it's a huge franchise out there. Huge.
Yeah, well, I think
you're keen. I know, but
yeah. Well, I think the argument could be is, I mean, you look back. I think this makes it sound odd, but look back in the last decade, kind of rock music and that type of music was very at the forefront of popularity.
Was.
Whereas now we've kind of moved away from that genre to whatever it is you want to call it now.
Yeah,
chart pop stuff, whatever.
Twerk music, I guess.
Teeny bop.
I don't know what it's called. You're the DJ, you tell us.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I just play it.
But yeah, I guess that's the only problem is, would this... I mean, there's still obviously a lot of people that are rock fans out there. Those people haven't gone away.
Yeah.
They've just grown up. I don't know. I think my biggest opinion is how they'll work it with the peripherals. Because one, it's expensive to buy the full set, and two, they take up a lot of room. So if people have already got them, will they be able to use them on the new console?
True.
Because it's all just USB, so there's no reason, in theory, why they wouldn't work. And I think that's the key thing that they would have to do.
Yeah, make them compatible from previous gen.
But at the same time, maybe add new features to the new peripherals to give people an incentive to buy them if they want them.
Yeah.
But not forcing them to have to.
Yeah.
Just one thought, like based off like the PS3, PS4 changes, because I don't own any of the RockBand stuff, so I've played them, I just don't own them.
It's probably the best way to go, to be honest.
I can't remember. Does the start select sort of like button functionality exist on the old ones in any shape or form? Simply for the fact that those buttons have now changed to something else.
Yeah, well, I suppose
on the new console.
I mean, like, there's still two buttons at the end of the day. They do have start select, which obviously start was your options menu, and select was basically never did anything anyway. I assume it would just be they'd have to run some sort of there'd be a firmware upgrade to kind of.
It's just in my mind that's the only differences that you could run across that could cause any problem. The fact that those buttons technically don't exist in the next gen compared to the old one. Yeah,
because obviously what it is, the peripherals are they're kind of effectively replacing the inputs from the controller.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that there's a way that they can make it work if they want to.
I think it'll be well received. I do think it'll be well received.
I'd be excited. I'd buy it if it came out. Number 3, Project Cars. Racing game that a couple of us, maybe all of us, are excited for.
Yeah, I think so.
Gonna have to wait a couple more weeks though, because it's been delayed till April the 2nd.
I remember when you sent me something saying it had been delayed. I asked you, is that a short-term delay or it's actually dead delay?
No, luckily it's not dead.
You said just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks, not
good.
a big deal. Yeah. People, I mean, we've talked about this many, many times now, but it doesn't bother me when games get delayed now because there's so much to play, and it's always going to be for the benefit of the game.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm generally not too fussed about it. And especially if it's a game which I'm excited for, but I'm not really sort of counting down the hours for. I mean, there are one or two games where maybe it would annoy me if it was the new Uncharted or something. You know, perhaps
it would annoy you, but you would understand it and you would get over it.
I would.
I think I'd be more concerned if like the delay moved it to like the summer or after the summer kind of thing, because that's showing that they're clearly having problems.
Yeah.
Whereas like
a couple of days,
a couple of weeks is not.
Yeah. You're right.
That's usually just like, okay, we didn't quite give ourselves enough time to touching
on it. Yeah. Even a big delay doesn't bother me. I mean, something like...
No, but it just shows that the game isn't in a ready state yet.
Yeah. I think some people... I actually almost respect when studios do delay them. Like, even if it is like we need like another 4 months on this game. Because then that means that basically a game that would have been like a 6 will now be an 8. And, you know... I'm not that. I don't have as much free time as I did when I was a kid, so delays don't bother me because it means I can catch up on my catalogue, of games.
Yeah, and I think we said about this game anyway. I mean, Project Cars. It was originally due to be around the sort of time of sort of Drive Club, Forza, all those big titles. What else did we have?
The Crew.
The Crew.
Yeah.
And we said how sensible we thought it was that they pushed it back and just got away from all the other big driving racing games, and they're now releasing in a time where there haven't been any driving games for a couple of months, and it's probably quite good in terms of
there's
strategy.
No other racing games on the horizon.
Yeah.
We'll move on then to the next topic on the list. Upload Studio is getting some feature updates. If anyone doesn't know what Upload Studio is, it's basically the in-house Xbox software that allows you to kind of capture your gameplay footage and create a nice little video and upload it so all the internet can watch you play video games, which is what everyone does nowadays. Hey, I'm not going to knock it. I tried it. No one watched my videos, but but no, yeah. So the big thing here is videos will now be 30 minutes long, which is a big increase on the original 5 minutes that you could do. So it's now actually at the stage where you can use it for YouTube videos. I feel
you can pretty much like play a level kind of thing now, as opposed to just showing an awesome clip of what you did while playing the game.
Yeah. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, most people like to keep their kind of things to kind of 20-30 minute videos, because I think if it goes too long, you see like a 2-hour video, it's like, nope, that's too long, I'm not watching all of that. Whereas like 20 minutes, that's fine. There will also be you'll be able to put up to 15 clip captures into a video, a load of different kind of transitions, game specific intro screens, title screens, effects, all of that fancy stuff. You can go over to Major Nelson's blog to read all of it, because I'm not going to list everything. But what do you guys think of this as like an additional feature for the console? Like I say, gameplay kind of gameplay commentaries is a big deal of entertainment now. Do you think it's a smart or a sensible move to kind of be having for Xbox to be trying to have this all in house? Obviously, Sony have their share button, which I think is 15 minutes. Can you do on the share one? I believe.
Yeah.
So
it was. I don't know if it's up to more now. I can't.
But yeah, so obviously they're kind of pushing towards it, which is good for people that don't have game recorders, because it saves you that extra piece of hardware. So would you use it?
I don't use it a lot. I use it more if something funny or weird happens on a level, and I'll hit the share button and I'll send it to you guys, or upload it to, I don't know, Facebook or something. I think it's good for that. I use it for that, but I certainly wouldn't be a full on entire game level with commentary, and I mean, it's just not. I just don't have the time to do that. But I know a lot of people do it, and there's a big demand for it out there.
Yeah. No, I think it's worth having that functionality in there for people who want to do it. But same sort of thing. It's like, I think more along the lines of, if you're going to capture properly, as in like long-term capture, then you're going to invest in the hardware.
Yeah,
and the software.
And the software and everything.
They can do a lot more.
Whereas like, same sort of thing that you're talking about, it's like, oh, this like randomly happened while I was playing whatever. Thought it was funny. having that in there is a good thing.
Yeah, so like this, for example, you could now make a 20-minute video of all funny things that you've done on GTA Online. Sort of, you could like capture all of them, kind of smash them all into one video, and then upload that video.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good feature, and Xbox owners, be sure to check it out. We will move on to the final topic then. For our good deed for the week, we make everyone aware of the big sales going on now on Xbox One and, well, not just Xbox One, but Xbox and PlayStation in general. The Xbox Ultimate Game Sale and PlayStation Critics Sale. Obviously, every now and then there are sales. This isn't really news, but I just thought I'd bring this one to everyone's attention. It ends tomorrow, the 24th, so I hope tomorrow, as long as the video goes up on time. Otherwise, unlucky, I'm sorry. But provided the video goes up on time, it ends tomorrow. So make sure you go and check them out. Just a couple of highlights was on the PS4, Dragon Age 40% off, Far Cry 4 40% off, and Wolfenstein 60% off. Xbox One, Alien Isolation for 60% off, Shadow of Mordor 40% off, and Watch Dogs 60% off. Any of those games or anything else on the list that you saw appeal to you guys at all?
Yeah, possibly Wolfenstein.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
The problem I have with these sales, from our point of view, which is why maybe it's not always to our audience, is even when they have these sales, normally Amazon also have the sales, and these are VAT prices.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't pay VAT, so you can probably still find a physical copy cheaper.
Yeah.
60% off. That's great, but that's still like what, 20 quid?
It's still a fair amount of money. Yeah, it is.
It's still 20 quid, so you might be able to find it cheaper elsewhere. So they're not always applicable to us, but to the majority of gamers out there, they're good.
Yeah.
That's it then on the news front. We will move swiftly on to the game releases this week, and obviously the big game, we talked about it earlier on the show, The Order 1886 for the PS4. Just very quickly, we're not going to talk about it in huge detail because, like I said, our review's coming, and also we touched on it at the top of the show.
Yeah.
But if anyone doesn't know what it is, it's basically a game set in alternate history London in 1886. Surprisingly, you take on the role of a guy called Sir Galahad, who he's a knight of this group called the Order, and they are basically there to protect the civilization from half-breeds, like kind of werewolves / humans. So that's kind of the main premise of the game. Guys, are you excited you're going to play this? Are you?
Well, I've got it at home. Haven't opened it yet because I'm finishing off something else first. But yeah, I'll play it. It's like obviously because I've paid for it.
Yeah.
I probably will still get it, even though we've criticised its length. Possibly, I think I probably still will be buying it and playing it.
Yeah, I've played it, and I wouldn't go against recommending this game to people. Yeah. I'll say that much. And one thing I will say also is it is very pretty as a game.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
visuals
I
are,
like.
Right up there. Possibly the best I've seen on a video game so far. They are really good.
Yeah.
Moving on then, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. So this was a fighter originally released in 2012. Mm-hmm. So we had Dead or Alive 5, then we had Dead or Alive 5 Plus, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, and now we have Dead or Alive 5 Last Round.
Oh dear.
Why do they not just make Dead or Alive 6?
Nothing like trying to get your money's worth.
Should they just rename it slightly? Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. Seriously, no more after this, we promise.
So yeah, but anyway,
they'll have they'll have DOA overtime.
Extra innings. But no, in all seriousness, solid fighting game. If you like fighting games, none of us at this table are really. We're kind of what I'd say maybe casual fighters.
Casual,
definitely. We're still at the stage of button bashing is the way forward.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas I know proper fighters, like, they hate people who do that. They learn every combination of move.
Yeah.
It's impressive because fighting games are probably like one of the most difficult genres to kind of master, properly, because there's just so much to learn.
The number of combos and so on, and that's per character as well. It's not like
exactly, yeah.
It's not the does the same thing in every character. It's just this does this then, and on that character does something else.
I was going to say, even if you look at a simple fighting game like even the Batman series, I mean, even the combos in there are so many in there,
and that's not even a fighting game.
That's not a fighting game.
Yeah.
So
I don't care. Well, you can dead or alive all you want. Give me Super Smash Brothers every day of the week. Right, next up is Hand of Fate, a PS4, Xbox One game. It's a tabletop card game with kind of RPG elements. Basically, it's described as a hybrid action RPG deck builder. So nothing really. We're not going to kind of talk about this one because we don't really have that much to say. We're not really kind of knowledgeable enough, and we don't want to kind of bash anything we don't know what we're talking about. But that's what, if that's the type of game that kind of maybe interests you, there'll be a little clip over the top. You can check that one out. One game though we can talk plenty about is Bert, the reboot of PS3, PS4 and Vita. Obviously everyone remembers this little guy from the 80s, one of the most successful arcade games of its time.
Yeah.
Now it's coming to PlayStation consoles, either in the classic form or it's basically two games in one.
Yeah.
You've got the classic on one side and the new 3D rebooted version. So Dan, did you like little Bert when you were a kid?
It's like when I looked at this, like when you put the name out, I was like, I don't know what this is, and then I YouTubed it. And it's like, I know this, but I don't know where I know it from.
Yeah,
kind of thing. It's
he was in Wreck-It Ralph. Did you watch that?
No,
yeah, he was.
But it's just like I can't place you, but I know it at the same time. So it's like I can't remember playing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, to be honest, when I first was reading it, I think like it didn't quite twig at the time, but then again, the second I went onto it, I was like, oh yeah, him. Yes, that was cool. I remember playing it, but not extensively.
Yeah.
You know, me and you are probably a little bit young.
Yeah.
I
must have played it in some shape or form to recognise it, but I just can't think.
Sometimes things are so kind of, they're so well known that you know it even if you don't know it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just
even if
in all fairness, I did look at him and go, I think that's the Capital City goofball off The Simpsons.
Ash.
Yes.
Do you remember this one?
Obviously,
yeah. Being the old man that you are.
Yeah, I do. Amazing game, really good. I must admit, it's. I was excited to see that this was
rebooted.
Yeah,
you don't mind this. This game's been long enough that it's allowed to have a remaster, is it?
It is. Yeah, it's been a long time in the making. I've been waiting, best part of 30 years, but it's finally here. Yeah,
you've been really waiting the whole time for it.
No.
Moving on then, Pillar for the PlayStation 4. It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, but what's this one about?
Basically, you're lost in an intimate snowy town. A pallet of individuals are in search of a mysterious artifact said to bring great knowledge and understanding. As you can see from where I was looking, that came straight from the top of my head and not down here in my notes. So yeah, we'll watch the trailer. You guys will see it here. You've watched the trailer. Yeah. About 1 minute 51 seconds, 2 minutes long. Do either of you have any idea what is going on in this game?
No.
It's a puzzle game.
The trailer doesn't sell the game or give away the game as to what it is.
Or the trailer a puzzle that you're supposed to solve to understand.
Yeah.
It's like you can only play this game if you actually complete the puzzle in the trailer.
Yeah. It is the best puzzle game ever because we are completely puzzled. But basically, yeah, it looks like a lot of kind of mini game characters, various puzzles that you have to solve in order to progress. And if you like puzzle games, might be worth checking out. If you do check it out, please do let us know what it's all about because
we haven't got a clue.
Maybe moving on to something maybe similar, maybe not similar.
Well,
Trivial Pursuit Live for the PS4. At least we know what Trivial Pursuit is. Obviously, we've had Risk, we've had Monopoly over the past few weeks, and now we have Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah,
it's basically kind of been made into like a TV game show kind of style format, and that's how you play the game. Either of you guys ever played Trivial Pursuit growing up? And is this a game that you would want to pick up, maybe for like a house party kind of game? Maybe not the most exciting house party, but
potentially.
I think that's the only.
Maybe while you have some wine and cheese.
I've got some fond memories of Trivial Pursuit. The little circular things with your little plastic colours that you have to
high
sectors to collect. I mean, it was a huge game for me. Family nights in with my sister and my parents, and you have family round, and it was good entertainment. This is before in the 80s, before games consoles were as big as they are now. And
so it was in the 80s before entertainment.
It was yeah. I mean, I'm talking probably sort of late 80s, I suppose.
You think you go back 20 years and people said we did a game show. This is the kind of thing they thought we'd be talking about, not video games. So, Dan, did you ever play Trivial Pursuit?
Out of all the board games and stuff that I played, I don't think I ever did that one.
No, I was too dumb to play Trivial Pursuit. I was like, those questions, because they were hard.
Oh, they were hard.
They were hard.
They were hard.
And my knowledge is limited. Basically, if I want, like, stuff I want to know about, I'll know about. But general knowledge, don't ask me. I think I had, there was a Trivial Pursuit Disney game I played as a kid. I think I was quite good at that. But other than that, no.
They do lots of different versions of it now, I must admit.
Moving on then, Blue Estate for the Xbox One. Previously came out for the PlayStation, but obviously now Xbox One side. Next gen rail shooter. It looks quite interesting as like a shooter. It looks quite fun. But the problem I have with it is it says, it was this line right here, using Kinect for Xbox One motion detection capability. So it's a Kinect shooter, like kind of, and it's just like, I don't want to shoot Kinect down, but I haven't yet played a game with its Kinect function, like, or its point function, which has been more fun to play than if I just played it with a controller.
From what I saw in the trailer now, whether this is right or not, it makes it seem like in order to shoot, you've got to be sitting on your sofa, basically making the gun shape with your finger, and then.
I saw that as the trailer as well. I don't know if that's actually real. I don't know if that's
real or not, but that's my takeaway from it.
I thought that was just for the trailer alone.
That would be quite funny if that was it. If you were just like doing this at your screen.
That would be funny.
But yeah, basically, you're in a mafia world in LA, kind of. So it sounds interesting. It actually looks quite cool, but
yeah.
If it was a controller game, I would probably maybe consider looking at it. But Kinect just puts me off, which I know is a very kind of almost ignorant thing to say, but it's just that's how I play my games. Are you going to pick this one up, Ash? Do you think?
It's funny because I looked at it and I thought it does seem. I don't know. I'm sort of 50-50 on this. I really am on the fence. I don't know about this game. I need to look a bit more into it before I just go and buy it.
Yeah. Well, one more game for us. Well, actually, two more games. Sorry, but first up. Now this one does look like a lot of fun. Roundabout for the Xbox One. So basically how I looked at this was, it looks very similar to Crazy Taxi, for everyone that remembers. I would hope that you both remember Crazy Taxi. And if anyone out there doesn't remember Crazy Taxi, you can turn off right now, because that was an awesome game. Please don't turn off, I was only joking. Please stay with us. But no, the difference here is you're in a limousine rather than a taxi, so a little bit more classy. But you can only drive in circles.
You have to see this to really.
You literally you have to go around town, take your people to their destinations, but you can only drive in circles. Thoughts?
It's different. I must admit. I mean, I don't know what to comment on this.
The trailer makes it look amazingly fun.
Yeah, when I watch the trailer,
that's amazingly fun in the short term.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it'll be fun for about 10 minutes, and then it'll just get annoying. Yeah, because you'll want to go like there, but you can't go there because you have to go round in circles. You have to like kind of loop all these.
Yeah.
But I almost have to kind of tip my hat to these people, like kind of who come up with these games. Like, we want to do a driving game, but there's so many driving games. We don't have the budget. We can't make realistic cars. And how do we make it different? What if we could only go in circles? Now, like, it sounds stupid. Yeah. But it makes people start talking about the game. Like, obviously, we're talking about it now. And
I picture that, like you're saying in that meeting, someone says that, and then
we're just going round and round in circles here.
No, the guy.
Yes.
No, it's just like, how about we drive in circles? And the guy leading the project just goes, "Genius!" Hits the table, and then they just leave.
And the game just makes itself. They just all leave.
No, they leave the meeting and go do it. It's just like that's all they're going to do.
It's a strange one. It looks fun, but I agree that I don't think the fun would last long.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, it will make people buy it because people will want to check it out and see.
Yeah.
It's a kind of game that I'm kind of hoping might come on to Games with Gold soon. So I can play
exactly. It's a kind of game you want it to be a couple of £1 or almost like a free demo version. to try.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting anyway. So be sure to check out the trailer. It is quite funny trailer as well. Final game, just very quickly. Hustle Kings for the PS4 is a free-to-play pool game. Jacking off a man from behind, or billiards, or whatever you want to call it. So there's not really much to say about it. I remember playing a few pool games for like my PC when I was a kid. I used to think they were like amazing and like the best thing ever.
I remember owning one.
I
can't even remember what it's called now. I should have done some research. I think it was like Ultimate Pool or something.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Ultimate Pool Pro Extreme or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, free to play. Give it a download. See if you like it. If not, it didn't cost you any money.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Although, I haven't included this, but we cannot end the show without mentioning that the Resogun DLC is also out this week. We talked about it in the news last week, of course. It was there. Very important.
We need to get a remote control for that so we can turn off the camera.
Defenders. So it is there. Go and buy it. Go and check it out. Without doubt, it is. Even though it's not a game, it is still a game in a week. But guys, what is your game? You do realise I'm just constantly trolling now.
I know
every
you are.
time.
I know you are.
So what is your pick of the week?
I think my pick of the week is going to be Bert. Yeah,
good choice.
Yeah.
Mine is The Order because I've got it and I'm going to be playing it. Simply.
Fair enough. I liked The Order. Obviously, I've enjoyed it. I've played it. Bert, I'm interested to play as well. But I'm obviously going to pick Resogun DLC, even though but it's not a game. So if I have to pick a game, I'll pick The Order. I've played it. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is kind of mini spoiler for the review, but don't always buy into the hate on the internet because surprisingly there's a lot of hate on the internet.
Yeah.
That's not really a spoiler. That's just common fact.
Well, yeah it is.
So yeah, that's about it for this week on the Game of the Week show. Thank you very much for sticking with us to the end, if you did.
Apologies for my snotty nose.
So I'm sure there's been other episodes where we've all been far worse. I mean, Dan couldn't speak last week, and I can't pronounce words any week. So
it's that time where just illness is just commonplace in February.
But yeah, so thank you for sticking with us. If you didn't stick with us, well, fuck you because you're not watching this anymore. So, but yes, please do like the video, subscribe to our channel, share us with your friends. If you want to speak to us about any of the news this week, are you excited for the new RockBand? What did you think of the length of video games? Obviously, let us know in the comments down below. We will respond to you. But for now, Ash, Dan,
cheers, guys.
Thank you for your time as always, and everyone out there. We will see you next Monday.